Referring to Scott Foster, and according to Shams Charania, James Harden has to pay for those comments. He said, look, I expect to get hit in the wallet, $25,000 for criticizing one Scott Foster. The reigning MVP also out for tonight's game against the Golden State Warriors, set to tip off at 8:30. And so it's going to be a tough one for the Rockets to face the Warriors without the reigning MVP, James Harden. Let's welcome in Kelly Iko who covers the Rockets for The Athletic. James Harden, he was game time decision, out for this one, but really it didn't seem like there was a specific moment in which he got hurt against the Lakers. So when did he get hurt? What happened with his neck injury?
Coach D'Antoni said that he got hurt. He got hit in practice, and the next day his neck was kind of sore, and he also experienced some flu-like symptoms. So they thought that the best thing tonight was just hold him out, get some rest, and recuperate for next week's games.
Well, last year, Chris Paul was able to play at an MVP level when James Harden was hurt or was out. Have those expectations changed a bit for Chris Paul? I know he suffered through his own injuries so far this season and hasn't necessarily seemed like he's been 100% at any point.
I think Chris would be the last guy that you would want to tell that he's, his game has kind of declined. And after coming back from the injuries, his game has started to pick up a bit. He's looking more like the player they saw last season and kind of the all-star guard that they need to stagger with James Harden and run the offense. And you're seeing as the games are heading towards the playoffs, he's looking more and more fresh, getting some spring under his legs and, shooting the ball much better than before.
Speaking of looking fresh, is that velvet you have on? Is that velvet?
It's not players only, but, I have to do a little something.
I like something. That. And one last thing, my earpiece, you sound like Biggie Smalls a little bit, too. Has anyone ever told you that? Huh? Come on now.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, I like that. Okay, all right. Now back to the good stuff. Now, with all this with James Harden, is this something that he could use, the Rockets could use? Because let's face it, until they really get their mojo going on both ends of the floor, we're not going to take them serious of getting back to the Western Conference Finals.
I think the problem with that is they would prefer to play the Warriors 82 times a season because, as you can see, this is the game that they get up the most for, they have the most focus for. They feel like they're the biggest rivals. And being a veteran team, you kind of don't want to go through the drags of the regular season. You want to play the Warriors. You want to skip to the playoffs, but you have to play during the season. And you're seeing that for them, this kind of the game where they have to, turn everything up a little bit more. But they have a will and a desire, even with the injuries, even with the slow start, that when they get things together and they can gel, that they don't care the seating and the standings, they're just going to be able to play.
Caron Butler here. What are you looking forward to seeing from the Rockets in particular tonight without James Harden out there? Because I know point of emphasis, let's face it, to keep the streak going and keep it alive. And now you see the team as a whole out there being able to be the best possible version of themselves. What are you looking forward to seeing out of them?
The defense. Last season they were in the top 10 in defense and defensive rebounding, and this season they're, I think, 25th in defensive rating, and they're last place giving points in the paint and 28th in rebounding. And for a team that has championship aspirations, you're not going to get there with those kind of rankings. So I'm looking to see, a tough crowd on the road. You came after an emotional loss. How do you bounce back? You're playing against the best team in basketball for the last couple of years. Now you're seeing a new dimension with DeMarcus Cousins. How do you handle that? Are you going to, step to the challenge even without James Harden, or are you going to fold and run? So I'm looking for that.
Kelly Iko from The Athletic. I think we have a new nickname for you, and I think it's Biggie Velvet.
Ooh,
we got
man.
Are you accepting that?
Baby.
Because
Biggie
I think
Velvet
it's
Jones. There it is.
Put the stamp on that. Put the stamp on that.
I like your style, bro.
I love it. And you
Thank
put
you.
in there
Keep
players
with it.
only, baby. There you go.
Thank you for your
Gotcha.
time, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Good stuff.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so much happening with the Rockets right now, but James Harden being out for tonight's game against the Warriors, I think it's a good litmus test to see where Chris Paul is. We know what he's been for his career, but we haven't really seen what his capabilities to the fullest extent this season because James Harden has been on this run, because Chris Paul has been hurt.
Yeah, the game is still the same. They're doing a lot of pick and rolls and having Capella back. Tough juice, he's going to roll to the basket. It's guys like right there. It's Eric Gordon. You know, is he more animated tonight? What I mean by that, Chris, is like, is he looking for more shots? Are they running more offense for him? Does he get more opportunity to run the pick and roll, knowing that there's no James Harden tonight? So that's why I agree with Kelly. Defensively, I want to see, do they still lock down? And you still have Chris Paul on the floor, so the ball still will be in someone's hands that knows how to facilitate.
Karan, do you like the way that they handled the Scott Foster situation? It seems like, look, James Harden is not exactly the most vocal guy as far as superstars are concerned. So to hear him voice his opinion on that, take the fine for his team and his teammates, and Chris Paul also got a tech that he felt he didn't deserve in the net game. Do you feel like that was the right way that they handled that?
Yeah, listen, when a quiet individual talks, everyone should listen. And I felt like he did a service to his team and to himself by, stepping out and saying and talking about some things that he wasn't comfortable with. He addressed it. He got hit. And like he said, I know I'm going to get hit. He got hit. It was coming. It was warranted. But at the same time, it may have been a lot of truth to what he was saying. And I think it's something that has to be addressed and just, reviewed and looked at. But most of all, I love collectively how the two leaders of that ball team, one being the president of the NBA Players Association and Chris Paul, they both got texts in that moment. So you best believe it's going to be some momentum behind what was said and what was addressed.
Can I address something?
Oh, he gets his special camera.
My camera.
3D right special camera time.
Hey, James Harden, I think Anthony Davis. Am I missing anybody? Who else got fined pretty heavy recently? All you guys have been getting fined heavily. Send half the money to me, and I'll talk for you, and I can cut you a discount. There you go. I'm done.
Oh.
I'm done. That was it.
Put my camera.
You got a better discount? This is camera one.
Basically, what he just said is, he got drip for sale.
There you go. So just send the money to me and we all good. And it's going to be a discount. So instead of $25,000, it's go $12,500. Cut it in half, baby.
That's a nice soft discount.
Nice,
I like your style,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want it all. You just want a little taste.
I think we need to move on from this before we get a call from upstairs like, hey, Chris.
Hey, look, upstairs, look, man.
Make sure
I take you to lunch
hold that
and
one
dinner,
down.
too.
Back to the Lakers.